This is a training video for site supervisors who are cooperating by sponsoring Coastal Carolina University's MED in Educational Leadership Administrative Interns. First of all, I'd like to say thank you on behalf of Coastal Carolina for sponsoring this very important mentoring and learning experience for our interns. The internship objectives are those which will most likely closely resemble those that you as a former student in educational leadership engaged in. As you can see, what we want to do is to apply the course learning that students have done over the past two and a half years to a real life setting. The intern should be working hand in hand with you to plan and execute various administrative activities. Please feel free to work with the intern in such a way to get various things done that you think need to happen for your particular building. Some general principles around this are as follows. The intern should work with you to do as I just mentioned, get things done for you as a building level administrator. I would suggest that they could include observation, shadowing, and supervision, especially in the early stages of the internship. Think of those items as that are constantly need to be accomplished, but you have never had enough hands to get them done. It's up to the intern to correlate these activities to the ELCC standards. There are also 5 in-basket activities that the intern will discuss with you. The internship time requirements are as follows. Each internship consists of 150 total contact hours. As you can see, interns will do 2 sites with these 150 hours, so they will do 300 total hours. However, they will be working with you for 150 of those 300 hours. 2/3 of those hours, or 112.5, are to be done in direct connection with the building. The intern should be on site. With the remaining hours, the intern is engaged in planning, journaling, and other such activities. The major components of each placement are 3 professional growth plan projects, 3 building action plan projects, log and journaling, and obviously the planning, meetings, seminars, and online questions that also will be part of the internship. There are major components, as I mentioned to you in the past slide, are 3 professional growth plan proposals and 3 building action plan proposals. What these basically are major and minor projects. You can think of the PGP projects as major projects for the intern, which will consume some 30 hours of their time. The building action plan projects are lesser involvement and involve 10 hours of their time. Again, it's really not up to you as the internship site supervisor to figure this all out. All of the interns have gone through training, and they understand that they need to take the various items that you agree to work with them on and to move them into the various areas that they need to satisfy in terms of the ELCC standards. They have to do projects that will satisfy 3 ELCC standards for the PGP or Professional Growth Plan projects and 3 for the Building Action Plan projects. On the slide, what you see in front of you is PGPP stands for Professional Growth Plan Proposal. That is the early stages of the planning of the proposal by the intern, and that turns into, after you are satisfied with its components and the university supervisor signs off on it, becomes the professional growth plan project for this intern. The building action plan is represented by the BAP. In this particular project, which is smaller in scope, the intern does not need to have the university supervisor sign off on them. In each instance, whether it be a PGP or a BAP, the intern conducts the project and then does an extensive reflective essay on the project, which is the way in which the university supervisors assess the project. Other components of the internship consists of journals and logs of activities, which you as the site supervisor have little to do with other than during the in-basket activities, which the intern will discuss with you. These are hypotheticals which the intern will work through with you to understand how a seasoned administrator would handle various issues which arise within a school building. There is one other item that the intern has to work on extensively, and that is a diversity documentation that is required by the state of South Carolina. They look like the following and are part of the handbook and syllabus. But again, the intern has to gather this information, and really it has very little to do with you other than they might ask you some questions about where to gather some of this information. Just to give you an idea of the concurrent events that are going on during the placement, during the first intern's placement they are also doing a written comprehensive exam. So this is one part of the internship that is overlapping while doing this field work. Also, all artifacts that they produce will be collected into a software package called LiveText. Again, this has little to do with you as the site supervisor. However, it might be information that you may want to keep in mind as students are working on various projects that they need to translate it into digital form. During the intern's second placement, the intern has to complete a portfolio of various assessments required by our accrediting agencies, and again, you as the site supervisor really don't have a direct hand in this. The portfolio is presented at the end to you as the site supervisor along with the intern's university supervisor as a culminating activity of the second placement. Again, going back to the Professional Growth Plan Proposal, or PGPP, what this is based upon is that the student identifies areas of growth in various administrative areas, and then working with you, design and execute projects that perhaps will address growth in that area. Keep in mind that this should be done within the context of your work day to day. So the intern will identify some areas which he or she needs to work on and will form with you some projects that you are comfortable with in order to help them grow in that particular area. Give you an example. Perhaps an intern will identify communication as a place where he or she needs to improve. You may assist them by having them work with you on a summer newsletter for staff if you do such a item, or updating a handbook. Those would be some items that perhaps would fit the bill that could be address a intern's growth plan. Form B16 in the handbook is where the intern will capture that plan. You have to agree to it, and also the university supervisor will sign off on that when the intern has your permission. Here's an example of a professional growth plan project that an intern did in a previous placement. And again, you can see this is a communication standard that the student was addressing. Here are the requirements of the PGP, and I have discussed each of those requirements to you before. Here's the reflective essay components as the intern what they must do. Again, this is for your information. The building action plan, as I said to you previously, are 3 projects, 10 hours of activities that address a specific need of a school. You can see here's the building action plan project. This is where the intern will capture what you want them to do. And again, this form has been revamped. If you'll see down at the bottom, there's university supervisor's initials. It has been decided that this does not need to flow through the university supervisor, that you as the site supervisor sign off on this, and that shows that it's acceptable to you as a component of the internship. There is a rubric that goes along with it that you can see how to judge whether or not the BAP fits into the internship experience. And again, all these forms are available to you on the Blackboard site. And again, part 3 of the internship are logs, journals, and the online in-basket discussions. The intern keeps an internship notebook. In that notebook, they keep everything that they do, and one will go to you as the supervisor at the end of the internship for your records. Here's a timeline that talks about the first placement, and you can review this. At the point where the intern has a design in mind for the professional growth plan projects and the building action plan projects, that is a good time to meet with the university supervisor. Here's the second timeline placement. Again, portfolio development is a big part of the second placement. And again, when the PGP and BAP are well thought out and fleshed out on paper, it's a good time to meet with the university supervisor. Submission of materials. The main item that you have to submit is a summative assessment form. It's very short. It is in the forms folder. You need to go over that with the intern at the end of the internship. That then is given to the intern as a electronic document. You can get the Word document for this obviously off of the Blackboard site. Ask your intern for that. And then that is given back to the intern when you've gone over it, and they submit it to Blackboard as an assignment. Thank you for doing this. I know that your time is very, very precious, but this, as you know, having probably been through one of these situations, this is really where the rubber hits the road when it comes to administrative learning. There are a number of resources available to you, and you can find those on the Blackboard website. Use that, and also do not hesitate to contact either the university supervisors and or myself as the internship coordinator. And that information is available to you on this slide.